Welcome to Innsbruck in Austria. We are high up in the Tyrol Mountains, ready for the start of the 2016 FIBT World Championships. We kick off our action on this double Olympic venue with women's bobsleigh. Martin Haven, John Morgan trackside, getting ready to get this fortnight of action underway. And John, the Igls track, twice a historic Olympic venue, and this is its second World Championship appearance.
Yeah, the first time it was here in '64 Olympics, it was a natural track. Then they rebuilt it into a combination bob and luge track for the '76 Olympic Games, in which my brother Jim, late brother Jim, was USA 1. And then the track record, Alana Myers and Evans set it a couple years ago. And you know, it's an easy track to get down. It's all about the start, getting around these first couple curves. You know, it's very, very technical. No mistakes allowed. Right here, the speed trap you're going to see right here, curve 3, that's going to tell you everything. Now there's a little couple corner combination right here that sets you up for the pivotal part of the track, which is, this is 3/4, the third labyrinth. Now into this big Kreisel, 280-degree whip around. You exit, you see the bridge, that's where you entered. And now curve 8, boy, this is trouble. Curve 9, if there's anything really going to bite your time, it's here on the exit. Into 10, big sweeping left. Now a 3/4 combination labyrinth on the bottom here. You start to motor, fastest part of the track down here. No room for air. You exit here, going uphill and finish. Real challenge here in the braking stretch for the athletes to stop the sled. And you know, it's a very easy track to get down, but boy, you have to be technically very proficient.
Track record set back in January 2014. Alana Myers of the USA and Asia Evans set the start record. Jamie Grubel-Poser and Lauren Williams set the outright track record, and that may be in danger today. The ice was very fast this morning in training when the skeleton athletes were out for the team's competition. Well, we have a good field of 18 sleds, including our reigning and junior world champions. And of course, the Austrians with an opportunity, John, maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have a World Championships on their home ice. Certainly once in a competitive lifetime. It's probably not going to come around again for the Austrian teams in any of these disciplines.
Well, Christina Hengster is the Austrian favorite. She's third in World Cup points. There's Kelly Humphreys. All she's done is won 4 of the last 6 years, including 2 Olympic gold medals. And, you know, the field of 18, there's your Meyer from Germany. The field is pretty deep. There's 4 or 5 people that could win this.
Well, we kick off with Kaylee Humphreys, 2 times a world champion, 2 times an Olympic champion. Jamie Grubel-Poser, the track record holder. A little further down the order, Alana Myers-Taylor, our reigning world champion, and Stephanie Schneider of Germany, our junior world champion, who gets a free entry into the field. We got 3 sleds from Canada, 3 from Belgium. So lots from Germany, 4 from Germany as well.
3
so
from the US, yeah.
Yeah, lots of entertainment here. There's the Olympic ring on the finger of our double and reigning Olympic champion, Kaylee Humphreys. The 30-year-old from Calgary, Alberta, with 22-year-old braking sensation Melissa Lottholt, who has rarely been off the back of the sled since they joined up at the beginning of last season.
Well, I think this is Kaylee's race to lose. I mean, it's all about the start, how close she can get to the other top athletes at the start. If she gets close to them, I think she'll win, because she, in my opinion, is the best driver in the field, and her resume, winning 4 of the last 6 years, the world or Olympic title, speaks for itself.
Well, she will set the target that everybody will go for. Normally in World Cup races, it's 2 heats that count. Here, all 4 will count.
Well, they broke the track record in skeleton practice this morning, and that was this morning. The track's gone through some changes here with the weather change from this morning. We'll tap there on a 9. I don't think it's going to hurt her too much. Really high in 10, though.
Keeping the speed on board. Top speed in the final corner of 14. It always used to be thought to be on the straight in 10, but it's not. 1:21.9.
Wow, only 600ths off the track record. Wow, she's first one down. Usually in Eagles, that's what you want, unless it's snowing. They stop here at least 50 meters past, or 40 meters past the original start, which is right out of that curve.
Yeah, sled's a lot faster now than when this track was built in 1973 for the '76 games.
Every time they come here, they lower the record. You just go, how much lower can they do it? It's a good sign for the track there. Here's then the Exeter Kreisel slingshot effect. Watch that line. Remember that line. That might be one of the better lines we see. And then her into 8. That's a great shot in the back of Exeter Kreisel into curve 8.
Lyndon Rush there, helping out with the coaching this weekend. And next, Jamie Grubel-Poser from the USA. The Olympic bronze medalist, started as a brakewoman, began driving back in 2011, 32 years old now. And Sherelle Garrett, the 26-year-old, her first World Championships.
Well, they need to get into the 40s in the start to challenge Humphreys down below. And they could. These are great athletes right here.
Jamie won her first
53.
ever World Cup race back in January 14 on this track.
Speed, keep track of that, that's 41.8. That's how you enter the sled. That's how you get around that first curve.
Kilometres slower than Kaylee Humphreys, off only 100 slower start time.
Already down 5.
But faster speeds than the Canadian sled already.
Jamie wasn't doing very well in training all week. She's been on the podium 6 out of 7 races so far this season. Boy, she's down 11. And she wants to stop that bleeding, and that's a big skid. She's probably going to be down here 15, 20 hundredths at least down here at the bottom. No, she's coming back. How do you figure that? With that skid, well, of course, that's what these BMW sleds do in the fast part of the track, 13. She was bringing it back,
yeah,
but that skid had to cost her. Kaylee hit up there, but Kaylee did not skid. Kaylee just barely tapped, and the sled stayed energy straight.
Well, not Sherelle Garrett, the reigning world champion brakewoman. She won the title last year behind Alana Myers-Taylor of the USA.
Ooh, look at they got to hit that together. Look at the feet
from Jamie's feet as well.
Yeah, look at the feet. They don't really want a lot of air time here. You know, here's the problem area down on the Exeter 9. She won't be the only person tapping, but you don't want to be skidding across the ice. Back into the sled was 1300s. Is a lot of time to give up on this track.
Well, here is Austria's hope, Christina Hengster, 11th in the World Championships last year. She turned 30 just 8 days ago. Her 22-year-old brakewoman, Sanne Decker, is the reigning Youth Olympic champion brakewoman in women's bobsled. And that title she earned on this track 4 years ago.
Boy, she looked nervous when we saw her in warm-ups.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure on this female athlete here. She needs to get close to start. That's not too bad, but on this track, that's going to multiply out to 16, 1800s probably, time she gets to Kreisel. And then she has to have a perfect line down below to even stay within a 10th.
3 bronze medals and a silver in the 7 races in the World Cup so far this season. So she's been in the form of her life.
Well, that tells me she stopped the bleeding. 17, might go to 18 or 19, but she could bring it back with the perfect line, and that was pretty good.
Not as fast as Kaylee Humphreys' BTC sled.
Oh, but she's the first one hasn't touched yet.
2/10 back. Can she bring it in closer?
She's bringing it back. Oh, she's late. Oh my God. She's got to finish, though. She's going to. Wow. How does she fall asleep like that on her home track? This is disaster for Austria. Oh.
The tension pays.
Now we want to just make sure they're okay, but this is shocking. Oh,
and another hit on the wall. Well, Sanne Decker, the brakewoman, is moving. So is Christina Hengster, the driver.
Look at the coaches. Franz Joseph Hoffman on the right. Manfred on the left. Manfred Mayer on the right. Decker is up. You see some movement.
It's a high-speed crash. They're doing
Dr.
118
there from
kilometers an hour.
German doctor in the yellow, Dr. Jean Byrne with the red backpack.
Well, if nothing else,
look at how late
Christina
she gets in
Hengster's
here.
heart will be broken.
You probably haven't seen her tip over.
We need to pick that up a little earlier in the corner because she was so wrong coming out of 10.
10, yeah. How did she make that? And I thought the sled was going to come back up here. Oh, it almost did.
Almost did. They just got another blow on the head instead.
But now, there she's. Oh my! I thought she looked really tight in the warm-ups.
Well, there is Christina Hengster. Her World Championships is over. She finished. She can do the remaining 3 runs, but any hope of a finish in the medals is long gone.
She's a poster child all over town, all the billboards. Look at the crowd is stunned.
Well, you're right. I mean, we're stunned as well. You're right about the pressure. You know, she just wanted to do well, so well here for the Austrian fans. Let's take a look here as they come through the labyrinth. She should be steering down. She's not steering. Then
I think she tapped. No, I think she came over here. She came over here and tapped before she got in here. Yeah. That spot, and then she pushes to the. Now she's in the middle. She came in too early.
Runs in the air.
And now she's has to go to the middle of the curve, and centrifugal force back up. She probably has never made that mistake on this course ever,
and probably never will again. It's the pressure of the situation.
We feel for her.
Oh goodness. Last night, the Austrian fans and officials so full of hope as we celebrated the opening of the World Championships in the center of Innsbruck. Goodness, that has stunned the crowd, stunned us.
We're looking for a chance for an Austrian medal, and Janine Flock on the positive side, the Austrian skeleton athlete, women's skeleton, practiced this morning. She set the track record, unofficial track record.
But now that Christina Hengster is out, how much pressure will that put on Janine and on Benny Meyer, their male bobsled driver? I mean, look at the crowd.
Well, they're waving at us, but there's a lot of.
I mean, you might expect to see that maybe from a rookie in a Europa Cup race, but a girl with Christina's experience.
The tap before the second labyrinth pushed her over to the middle, up. And, there's a lot of fans here that just don't know what to do with themselves.
Well, look, we talk about some of the other tracks on the planet being dangerous tracks, or the athletes, the drivers talk about it. Every ice track is dangerous. If you get it wrong, it can ring your bell.
Now the weight up top. Probably checking the track down below for grooves. If there's some big grooves, they'll have to get their little slush bucket out and, patch. They'll patch it up, and that could slow things down here considerably.
First of our 3 Belgian sleds. There's your Olympic champion Kaylee Humphries leading after the first 2 sleds. Christina Hengster does get a finish time, and you know what? I'm sure they will try and go again.
And she's 47 hundredths off the lead. Even we were told by Wolfgang Stampfer that he could take that sled, turn it sideways out of curve 9 at the bottom, and it would not affect too much his speed down below. Look at that. She crashed. She was 19 hundredths off on the entrance to the labyrinths, and she crashed at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And she's only 47 hundredths out of the lead.
Yeah.
Here they're inspecting the track. One of the ice meisters looking for the grooves. If you see him stop.
The grooves are going to have to stay, but if there are big chunks missing, there are some of the coaches. Dr. Byrne, you saw there's Lyndon Rush, looking happy with his girls so far. Sepp Plotzer from the US team.
Mike Kahn.
Mike Dion is here as well.
Looks like they've cleared the track. The sled is down. Probably gave him a minute warning. And now that you wait to hear the green light. They haven't seen the green light yet, so those jackets will stay on to hear a little siren, a little
lift bell, lift doorbell, isn't it? That's what it always sounds like. Bing bong. Well, there you can see the bungee straps running vertically up and down in the sled to hold the D-rings just where the driver's hands naturally come to them.
Down the way there, you'll see the red light, the green light. That's what they're looking for right now.
Alfie Willemsen from Belgium. Her brakewoman, Sophie Verkrijsen. Alfie, 8.5 years ago, started this bobsleigh business as part of a reality show run by Belgian TV to try and bring a bobsled team to the 2010 Games. Former javelin thrower.
Yeah, her teammates. A basketball player, the only basketball player really in the field.
7th in last year's Worlds.
She's going to give up. She's going to probably get in the 70s here at the start, which is her negative signature. 74 now. You know, she just runs out of track here at the bottom. She's going to be down 40 hundredths at the next clock, and then has to hit like a 3-run homer. She's 39, and that'll grow. That'll grow to 45 or so, it'll be 50 before she can bring it back. 41, that's not bad there. She's as good as anybody driving the sled, but she needs a longer track. This is the shortest track on tour. Look at the lines. That's as good as it gets.
Yep. 9 to 10. Vital part of the track as you start to climb a little.
37, here she comes. She's just running out of track.
Yeah.
She has another 200 meters of track she could challenge. But it's a short 1,250-meter track down to 34. She got beat at the start by, let's see, 22 hundredths, and she only got beat by 33 hundredths at the bottom. She should be behind 6/10. She's, you know, a fantastic drive. Just too short of it. She needs the track to end another way up at the top there.
Track workers stepping out from behind the wall to help with the sled. Let's take a look at the start.
It looked like there was a perfect cohesion there, the launch. Now watch the steps. They don't like to have air time, different philosophies, how you push. Some people say you just got to go at it naturally. You can't change the way you run. Look at the stride. A lot of air time on the brakeman there. But of course, it's
either way, they have to change their hand grip as well. They sort of hold it like a wheelbarrow, and then they have to push it. Well, next up, one of the favorites here, second in last year's Worlds. She's the European champion. She was an Olympic champion as a brakewoman in 2006. 37 years old, Anja Schneiderheinze from Germany.
Look at her brakeman's technique. She's only like 20 years old, 21, and she's picked it up quick. Great, awesome start. This is her signature, and she's only got one podium this year. And you know,
and that was in St. Moritz last week, the last track that she won on.
And then she came home. She didn't go to the Whistler event. She came home to train for this. Her nemesis is she has a problem with consistency.
Speeds are not as high as Kaylee Humphries, but the gap is out to 22 hundredths.
Should be more than that with that start. Here it comes back. This is going to be down to a single digits. She's got a pretty good exit there, a 9.
Canadian sled was 3 kilometers an hour quicker. This will be right down to the wire.
No, she's going to maintain it. She was late there too, though. That was pretty quick.
Fly. And the lead.
Track record.
Anja Schneiderheinze with a new track record.
So I said Humphries' only deficit was going to be at the start. Schneiderheinze got her by 12 hundredths at the start, only 13 at the bottom. Question is, can Anja be consistent all 4 runs?
Well, she and the 20-year-old brakewoman, Annie Dracek, was second in the World Championships last year.
This looks a little late here on the exit. This is where the crash by the Austrian sled was, but you know, she had that 2200ths lead, and it fell down to 13.
Well, here's Annie Dracek walking towards us. Just 20 years old. What a future she's got in German bobsledding. Anja Schneiderheinze, the leader, with 5 sleds down. Anja Schneiderheinze leads here in Igls. First of 4 runs in the World Championships. And next up is our second Belgian sled, Anne van Nieuwenhuizen, physio student, former 60 and 100-meter sprinter, and new auntie to baby Alex. Loose Hobrecht behind her, a pole vaulter in her first season.
Yeah, they're going to give up time at the start. Pretty good drive down, like her teammate Elfie Williamson. Could drive pretty good, but 581. She's 41 down, so this will be 75 hundredths by the time she gets to the Kreisel on this track.
She is now going to try and uphold the honours of Belgium because Alpha Willemsen's crash has dropped her right to the tail of the field.
It's not Williamson, it's Hengst. Crash.
I beg your pardon, yes.
Ooh, a little bump there. That was strange.
Right.
Airborne. There's the 81. Okay, now she might get out to 85 or 90 and bring it back. She's good. She's got a quick piece of equipment. She's a good driver.
Yes, this year,
Look at that line, that's perfect.
Last year, this was the fastest sled on tour.
Ooh, tap there, that's not good. That means she's going to be late down here in the labyrinths, and she steers hard. Probably a second behind, maybe 90 hundredths, 98, yeah. That's all relative to the start. She gave up 81, she gave up 41 hundredths at the start. Look on. And so she should be down by 1.2 seconds at the bottom. There's a 3-time multiplier effect. And on this track, she lost all that time. She was down 81 hundredths by the time she got to Kreisel, and only ended up 98 hundredths down at the bottom. It's the start on this track. This is
4/10 at the start. Should be 1.2 at the bottom. She's only 0.9 away.
Look at the runner tips here. Look at the late there. Now watch the back end of the sled here. Look at that bump. I think that's relative till she tried to get on there so early.
Well, she got pushed away in the previous corner. She dropped off late, and that just sends you completely the wrong way. And Van Nieuwenhuizen then in 6th position, behind Christina Hengster.
She also needs a longer track.
Next up, Germany's Mariama Yamanka. First World Championship at the senior level for her. The girl from Oberhof originally, now lives in Berlin. 26-year-old Elena Nolte behind her, a former long jumper. This is Elena's first race in a month.
Boy, she got through a transformation to breakthrough. She's lost about 6-8 kilos, 15, 20 pounds.
And right back to fitness now in time for the Worlds.
Pretty good start. You know, Yamanka's been impressive. She hasn't medaled, but her first year out, never been in North America. She handled Lake Placid, Park City, Whistler, no problems.
No problems, no crashes either.
Yeah. Former hammer thrower. Now lives in Oberhof. Very technical track. If she learned how to drive at Oberhof, she's got some skill. That's a unique place to learn how to drive a bobsled. 3,800's not bad considering the start deficiency. Late there though.
Yeah. Well, I think the ice is a lot colder and probably a little faster than it was in training.
Well, we had a track record.
Yeah.
It's good. Sure.
5th position on the splits as she comes down through the final corner 45. To the line.
Yeah, she beats both Belgian sleds. By only 200 she beats Williamson, but she beat Williamson by 1,200 at the start.
4th place, 2/10, 1900s out the medals.
Yeah, we've been impressed with her this year for being a rookie on tour, going all those tracks, not crashing, taking the challenge, and moving on.
Yeah, future German bobsledding looking bright with her, and
another one coming up.
Schneider.
She's coming up. We can't say enough about how impressed we've been with her. Okay, this is the exit of 9 where she comes up. Watch her come back up here at the exit.
Steered off a little early.
Yeah, she came off early, then came up on the exit late. This is the same shot, different angle, and that little tap there, you know, not too bad. Probably the worst one we saw was Jamie Grubel.
Yeah, same as Anne Van Nieuwenhuizen. She made the same little, just steered down early and centrifugal force pushed her back up. Next up is our reigning world champion, 31-year-old Alana Myers-Taylor. Silver in the Olympic Games in 2014, born in California. Now she and husband Nick Taylor live in Phoenix, Arizona. Behind her, from LA, Lauren Gibbs.
Well, she's going to need to get away in a 40. She's got the potential to do it. Lauren Gibbs in with that signature left arm coming in late, 4:45. Now, last year, Alana Myers had the best starts in Winterberg. And a lot of similarity in there. Here you had it. It's a little flatter. You got to run a little farther, but you know, it's strange that they switched up the brakeman on between Jamie Grubel-Posner and Myers.
Of course, Alana missed half the season this year because she was suffering from concussion syndrome effects. She now says that she's feeling better than she has done in 2 years.
Well, here she comes. Perfect lines down here. She could get it to single digits. That's an excellent exit of curve 9.
Better speed than Schneider-Heinz, the leader as well. The gap could come right
she's
down.
Lost it in the middle part of the track somehow. She lost it. This is for second or third. This is for third. Second, she came back. She found 500s at the bottom. That's the second sled, though, we've seen have a 15 deficiency to a 13 deficiency. And you figure she's going to lose more, and she got it back to 10.
Only just on the ice at the end of the outrun.
She got beat at the start.
You've got to feather the brakes before the final braking corner and then really haul them on, or you go straight through the station.
Well, she's usually wins the starts. Last week at St. Moritz, she did. Look at these lines. I mean, this is as good as you can get. Look at the speed. She's the second best speed, but look at the difference. Kaylee Humphries was 2 kilometers better than anybody at that point. And on this track, 2 kilometers is a lot. And I can't believe she's 1,300s behind, but of course, her start deficiency is what helped that.
Well, Germany's extra feather in the bow comes of courtesy of their junior world champion for 2016, Stephanie Schneider, 25 years old. Took bronze in the European Championships last weekend in St. Moritz on her debut at the senior level. Her brakewoman, just 21, Lisa Marie Buchwitz.
5:55. I thought they'd get into the low 50s, high 40s, but boy, are we impressed with this German driver, Stephanie Schneider. She was in the back of Martini's sled last year at the World Championship.
Yep.
No, Schneiderhein's sled. I think she was in the back of Schneiderhein's sled last year at the World Championships, and she's made this jump to the front seat. In 1 year, won the Junior World Championships. She's got talent. She's a former hammer thrower. Oh, she's late. Going to be late. Yeah, she snuck out of there. A lot of steering. I heard a little banging there at the exit 8 to 9. 41. Good speed. Not really.
6th position on the splits. Up to 5th at the line, so she found speed at the bottom
beat
as well.
Beat her teammate Jamanka by 100, but beat Jamanka by 700s at the start.
See, that's a great battle of the juniors, isn't it?
Boy, this is some young German talent here. Both of them. Surprised they only got a 55 start. I think Schneider, we're going to start seeing her really challenge here in the next couple of years. Watch the power here. Do they hit the same time?
That's good.
Now notice she's not coming from the back, and she's got her hands, you know, right on the bar. That's the way she starts. Some of the drivers we'll see come from the back. Hey, all you track and field coaches out there, you sprint coaches, send us a note on announcer.com, right, or Twitter account to tell us how you think they should push, with their feet higher up, more air time, or more feet on the ice.
Stephanie Schneider, Lisa Marie Buchwitz, currently lying in 5th place for Germany. Anja Schneider-Heinze is our race leader as we get to the first of our Russian sleds. Alexandra Rodionova, Europa Cup points leader, 3 wins this season already. Started in luge and then converted to bobsled in 2014. She took 6th place in the Olympic Games as a luge athlete.
Boom, trouble, big trouble, over now. It's that 71 start. She's going to be down by 70 hundredths here pretty quick. That, I don't know what that was. That's maybe they ran too far.
She didn't have her hands on the D-rings, it didn't look like. In the red all the way down now, behind Anja Schneider-Heinze, the current leader, 3/4 of a second back already. She's the 10th sled on the ice.
You know, she's from Brest, which is the same place a lot of the other athletes come from. Zubkov. A lot of Russian athletes.
Great woman.
Kasanov will be in the competition tomorrow, 2-man competition, the Russian best hope.
Great woman. Nadezhda Viderka is another 100 and 400 meter athlete. They've got lots of fast young sprinters in the back of these sleds.
So she didn't even beat Hegster down. Hegster's beat 2 sleds.
Yep. So brakewoman with a hand on the brakes to make sure the sled doesn't roll back before they get out safely.
Let's see if they run too far. Look, try and get some reference point.
Does she
look at the head. Look at the head of it.
In? Is she getting in? She hasn't got her hands on the D-rings.
And they were out. They ran too far.
Yeah, comes out of the grooves.
Somebody ran. The driver, I would think it was the driver that ran maybe a step too far.
Next up for Great Britain. Okay, first we have our top 10. Anja Schneider-Heinze, the race leader. Next up for Great Britain, Misha McNeil from County Durham, Youth Olympic silver medalist on this track in 2012. And behind her, 28-year-old Natalie Durant, originally from Sheffield, now lives in North Carolina.
Nice to see a British flag on the sled, Martin. You had something to do with that. 66. Not too bad for Misha, who medaled on this track in 2012 in the Youth Olympic Games.
She was also bronze in the Junior World Championships 2013.
And she lists her occupation as an athlete. Boy, does she sits in that cowling. Her eyes are barely above the cowling. Great aerodynamic profile. And boy, you need every trick in the book on this track.
Nice looking run so far in 8th position.
That wasn't so nice for Jigster.
Yep. 1964 on the natural track in Igls, the last gold medal in British bobsledding. Nash and Dixon won in the two-man competition, and she comes down 9th spot.
Real challenge in those breaks, and as that straightaway continues to get dug up, it's going to be harder and harder to break into the second run. They'll fix it overnight, but skeleton athletes don't really like it.
52 years ago, two-man gold for Nash and Dixon on this track, or on a track here.
Well, it's, yeah, that comes up. The first curve of the track, the old track, was right down here to the right. There's a lot of similarities. Now look at the, do they hit it together? No, the brakeman did not hit it at the same time. Now remember, she came off. We saw the German, Schneider, just have her hands on the bar and set her feet in the ice, compared to Misha, came off the back and ran up to the bar. You want to hit it with a cohesion. It's so important in the explosive start that you need. It's a team sport.
For Romania, 9th in last year's Women's World Championships, Maria Constantin. She was the European Cup champion as well last year, former swimmer, just 24. Her brakewoman, 21. Angia Greco also drives, but didn't qualify for the World Championships as a driver. Brand new BTC sled, only 1 race old.
Ooh, drift. 65, not bad for these two. The brakeman, no, she's just starting to drive. Track and field 100-meter athlete, her favorite athlete, Usain Bolt.
There's a few whose favorite athlete is Usain Bolt.
There's a lot. There's not a few.
In and out of the
There's
space.
20. Ooh, that's late there. That's a big mistake too. 5, 6, 7. Can't make those.
Talk to her about the challenge of driving a new sled. She's had 3 different sleds in the last 12 months.
Yeah, every one of them's been an upgrade.
And this is so different from the FES sled. She says, I'm having to learn to not steer half as much.
73. She's not going to beat Dixter either.
Top 10 run. Let's take a look at the bottom.
10th. Tied with the Russian.
Compare and contrast the size of those two programs, Russia versus Romania. That's little and large in their budgetary department. Nicknamed their sled Rogue after the X-Men character, who Maria says has got red hair like her. I said, well, where's your white stripe then? Okay, no, maybe not.
Here's a mistake. Look, she's late coming off 4 to 5. Watch the back end and the skid. Oh,
skid
that's worth 15, 20 hundredths. You put that 20 hundredths on top right there, and she'd be up into 7th.
Finished 9th last year in Winterberg, so she's got real potential. For Austria, 23-year-old rookie Katrin Beil from Innsbruck, a former hurdler, with Karlin Slepper, another 23-year-old. She was a javelin thrower. 7th in the Junior Worlds recently. Real interesting routine before the start. Beil almost beats her brakewoman to death.
70 start. So she's start speed says 2nd.
3/10 slower than Anja Schneider-Heinze from the start. but it's a 10th place start. That's where she'd like to be.
She's got to stop the bleeding. Get through the cries. Hope to ease it out.
Speed. 11th place at the moment, though.
Not bad. Boy, Kurt 9 just isn't that much of a challenge for these female drivers tonight. 82 back, is a little late there. Oh, she bumped into the last lap, but Sled was airborne on the take-on. 88-12.
53.82 leaves her 0.05 of a second behind Alexandra Rodionova and just ahead of Anne van Nieuwenhuizen of Belgium.
Her first World Championships.
Yeah. Only her second race at the senior level. She made her World Cup debut just a couple of races ago.
Start, get in, watch these. Get in, get down, this little bathtub. You have to get in this little shell.
Got a knee caught there getting in.
And a little bit of a drift.
Still had control though.
Yeah. Then down here, watch the back end of the sled here. Watch the back end coming up here. The next shot, if they give it to us, keep it coming, and watch the back end here. Boom. See that airborne? She came on there.
Not as late as Christina Hengster, but she was flirting with danger there.
She was flirting with danger there. She came over. She did a lot of steering right there.
Nadezhda Sergeyeva of Russia, the 28-year-old with her 19-year-old brakewoman, Linda Belomestyenk. Yulia, rather.
Yulia.
Belomestyenk. That's not quite how she pronounces it, but then she's had more experience with it, I'm afraid.
Look at her sprint.
Yeah. And look at her physique as well. She's so tiny and slender.
Look how quick she was in compared to the other Russian sled. 59. Much better than the other Russian sled at 71.
Brakewoman is the youngest in the field at just 19.
She came in this morning for another headshot, different uniform, and communicated with her. You tried to get her to pronounce her name for you.
Yeah.
But you can, we definitely see the Russians just grabbing every track and field athlete and bringing them out to the sport. I asked Oleg, the coach, when is she going to start driving? He just smiled at me. Of course, at 19, look at that mistake. This is top 8, though. She keeps this pace up.
The driver Sergeyeva was a former brakewoman as well. She started in 2010, didn't start driving till 2 seasons ago.
It's not bad. 964.
That's a nice run.
That's behind Hengster also.
Yeah, but it's the best of the 2 Russian girls. Only 400s behind Christina Hengster.
I think Hengster still has a chance to get up the top 5 if she stays in the
what?
race. But
she just might. She's got the consistency and the knowledge of this track.
Well, watch this. Look at the feet now. Look at the brakeman. Now, this is she's brand new. Look at this. Her feet are still on the block.
Yeah.
They did not hit that. Hit it is what they call it, the expression at the same time. And look at the air. Look how much air she's got on her feet here.
And look at those.
Look how long her legs are.
Real hurdler's legs. She raced 60, 100, and 4x100.
Little mistake here, Exeter 9. This is what you see a lot of normally. That most of the field have handled the Exeter 9 very good.
Nadezhda on the right and Yulia on the left. And some support for the Canadians now from their bobsled and skeleton colleagues. This is Alicia Rissling, 26-year-old University of Edmonton basketballer. A year on the brakes and 2 years now driving. Julia Carenti behind her, former long jumper. Carenti also a driver. In fast.
60, not bad.
Kaylee Humphrey started 5:52. They started 5:60. Julia Carenti on the brakes actually used to be a brakewoman for Kaylee Humphrey as well a couple of seasons back.
4/10 back. Probably get to 55 or so before they get into the cars at 48. That's pretty good. She could get a top 7 or 8 out of this.
I think Alicia said she's raced on this track once before.
52 62 is not too bad. She's rudder tips excellent.
Slipped away from 7th place to 10th on the splits, but if she finds speed at the bottom, she could creep back up higher.
Now they're going late on this track. The track's scratched up. People are going late now. 11:73 back. Tie. Three-way tie between Riesling, Konstantin, and from Russia. Three different. How about that?
Yeah, well, we expect to see that on such a short track, don't we?
Yeah. On this track.
Yeah.
In fact, I sort of like the ties.
Yeah. And we'll have a lot more before this fortnight is over. There's Alicia Riesling, her first ever World Championship drive.
Remember, I talked about Kaylee Humphries and the exit here of the Kreisel, the slingshot effect onto the bottom. When this is the second part of the shot, and you go into 8, and you're just trying and let that sled fly.
Anja Schneider-Heinz, Alana Myers-Taylor, Kaylee Humphries. The favorites are leading the first of 4 heats. Christine de Bruyn next up. 26-year-old, been driving since 2013, former 100 and 200-meter runner. She leads the North America's Cup campaign at the moment. And behind her, 24-year-old Cynthia Appia. She's raced in the 4-man sled with Kaylee Humphries, Cynthia has.
Oh, she lifted that sled straight up. Christine de Bruyn crashed in training the last trip down, I think. So we'll see if that has any effect. 61, not bad. She's one of the 3 different marriages on this circuit, right? Jamie Grubel-Posner married a German brakeman, Christian Poser. She married Dutch bobsledder Ivo de Bruyn.
Yep.
And of course, Alana Myers-Taylor married bobsledder Nick Taylor. So the sport has a way of bringing people together.
Christine de Bruyn, yeah, is going to be one of the drivers that homologates the new track and film champion career in a month or so as well. So she's super excited to be going to the new Olympic venue.
And they did that through a draw. They drew names out of a hat from the Open Tour, the North American Tour, and the World Cup Tour. She's one of the fortunate athletes to be going over to Pyeongchang and see the place for the first time in a month.
8 tenths behind in 14th place at the moment, comes across the line in 15th spot. Again, her first ever drive in a World Championships.
Yeah, they're all
a big step up for both these Canadian drivers.
In fairness to the last 6, 7, 8 sleds coming down the track loses time quickly. So if you go early on this track, that's what you want.
Your best 9 I've seen you
okay, the start, we talk about the start. Let's see if they hit it together. Look at the brakeman. Look at us struggling to get that off and running. Now look at their strides. How much air time do they have?
Right behind, with the iPad, that's their start coach. So he'll have words to say after the second start. So Christine de Bruyn and Cynthia Appia currently lying in 15th position. 2 sleds still to come in this first of 4 heats of the Women's World Championships. Next up is our 3rd US sled, Katie Eberling, 27-year-old, originally from Chicago, huge Cubs fan. And behind her, 22-year-old Kerry Jones. If you think Kerry looks like she may not be the tallest athlete out there, just 5'1".
But she is explosive.
Brought into the sport in October.
She's a Baylor track and field athlete. Look how quickly she gets in. You can't see her back there. 51's decent start. Her favorite athlete, she's from Baylor, a great women's basketball player, Brittany Griner. She was in Baylor when RG3 was there. There's a couple Baylor athletes in the track in the U.S. bobsled program.
Driver Katie Eberling, former great woman, and started driving 2 seasons ago, 9 years ago.
9th place last week in St. Moritz, not too bad.
8th position at the moment, losing a little ground on the track.
Really linked in. Worst line we've seen in 9. That's what you see a lot of teams doing, but women have handled it very well. Steering here, she's late.
Head up now, the track's got her attention. 8th position.
Not bad, she just, considering where she's 3rd best start. Wow.
Well, you know,
she tied, I think, Jamie Grubel. No, Grubel's got, Grubel's 200s behind her.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
They will be super excited with that start.
You know,
and that's without a perfect getaway as well.
See if there's a little slip there.
Yes.
Yeah, she got
Katie
a little.
Ebeling's foot just slipped.
That's that, you know, you just think. Exeter-Kreisel here now. This isn't a little tap there, but she got a little out of whack there. But watch this. The Exeter 9 here, airborne. You see the back runner. When you don't want to be airborne in the Exeter 9 like that. Katie, still great job.
Big smile from Katie Ebeling. And our final and another rookie first heat sled is Linda Dekker from Belgium, just 21 years old. Nell Pollison, her brakewoman, only 20. Came in 2014 from track and field. This is Len's second year driving, and she's got Olaf, the sled that Anne drove last year.
She's one of the few athletes we talked to that's, it comes to track and field, but 800 meters, 1,500 meters. It was one of the first athletes that we looked at her and said, well, we don't have too many athletes from the 800 meter part of track and field.
Country.
Yeah. She's a criminology student.
She started on the brakes as well for Anne van Nieuwenhuizen. Is now driving her own sled.
It's a fast sled. Skid there. Of course, when you got the 18th best start of 18 sleds, it's going to be tough to pull off a miracle time on the bottom. Uh-oh. Drove around there, squared.
Got it back under control. Back in front of the sled. That's where the athlete's brain needs to be the whole time. Nice looking lines. Speed at the bottom, 118, 118.4. So she is in 18th spot, and 1.4 seconds off the lead, held by Anja Schneiderheinze.
That's our field of 18. Kreisel. You have to be so precise to feather this sled out of this curve, because there's just no mistake allowed. It looks like she steered there coming off pretty hard. And now she's drifting to the left side, our left, her right.
A big smile from Len.
First World Championships.
Absolutely, safely down. First of 4 heats. Anja Schneiderheinze and Annika Dracek for Germany, leading a mixed field. Alana Myers-Taylor, the reigning world champion, in second. Kaylee Humphries, the reigning Olympic champion, in third. Jamie Grubel-Poser in fourth, ahead of 2 for the German sleds, Stephanie Schneider and Mariana Yamanka.
Chris, they know right there.
Yeah.
He knows. That's set the pace right there. And with that start time, could be pretty tough to catch her if she keeps that up.
Well, the temperature's dropping, the sun down below the mountains here. Top 3 covered by 1,300s, a further 13 back to Jamie Grubel, but less than half a second, covering almost the top 8. So we have got a very close race on our hands. Katie Ebeling, great first run from her. The rookie driver in 8th position. Misha McNeil for Great Britain, 11th in this big tie behind. For 3-way tie for 12th place behind her. So in the end, that crash for Christina Hengster of Austria leaves her in 9th spot, 6/10 off the lead. Who will improve and who will slip in the second heat? You'll have to wait and see. Our second heat action comes up at 6:15 local time, which is in 40 minutes from now. That is 17:15 GMT. If you have any questions, you can send them at IBSF Announcers, and we'll try and get some of your queries and thoughts answered in the second of our heats here, live from Innsbruck.